Welcome to Ciao Bella, hosted by me, Erica Firpo, a travel journalist based in Rome. Each episode of Ciao Bella, I sit down with Italy's creators, contemporary artists and artisans, designers, culinary experts, heritage brands, and innovative aesthetes, and more who are defining and redefining 21st century Italy. Pull up a chair and join in. Hey, welcome back to Ciao Bella. We are in the Veneto to discover Italy's Valle Silicone.
Silicon Valley.
You want to call it Silicon Valley? All right, let's do
Okay.
it. I'm with Riccardo Donadon, the founder of H Farm, which is an innovation platform. It's an incubator, and it's an international campus where creativity, entrepreneurship, and education converge. Ciao, Riccardo.
Ciao.
Did I describe H Farm well?
Yes, H Farm is a sort of platform born in 2005. I started working in internet field in 1995. I made two things that gone very well. The first one I sold at the beginning of 1997, and it was one of the first e-commerce shopping mall in Italy. Too early to sell online, but good to sell the company to a big tech operator. In 1998, I started with my second company that was a web agency. It was the beginning of everything in Italy, and gone very, very well. I was super lucky because in 2000 there was the bubble also in Italy, and the company was super profitable, and I sold in 2000. I remained to manage the company until 2003. Then I make 1 year of gardening because I love gardening, and in 2005 I start with H Farm. H Farm born like giving back. I want to help a new generation to achieve the opportunity that there is in the market with the technology, with the innovation. And in the first 10 years we invest a lot of money, more than 28 million on seeding.
Now, just really quickly, because I've heard, but H Farm, the H stands for
Yes,
humans.
H stands for human. So the previous company was E3, and I put an E in front because was the time of the e-speed, e-business, electronic. And when I started in 2005, for me it was important to put H because all the things must be around the human, around the user. So I decided to move the company, to start the company in the middle of a country farm, and I put the green, the nature in front of everything because in the previous company we stay a lot of time in front of the computer, and when we finish to work we start to work. Here was completely different when we start because we work a lot, but when we make a call we stay walking in the field, walking in the middle of the field. Is beautiful.
So just to give everybody who's listening an idea, we're about 15 kilometers from Treviso.
Yeah.
So we're in the Veneto, which is in the northeast of Italy, and we are right now we're actually watching one of the prettiest sunsets I've seen. It's very, very green here, very rural.
Yeah.
And you decided to make a digital company in the countryside.
Yes, because this place in the 90s was a place that Disney evaluated like a possibly destination for Euro Disney.
Oh, really?
Because it's in front of the lagoon, is with a river that finish in front of Venice. So was a place that they choose because could be super attractive for people that go to Venice, come here, have fun, etc. And I remember these kind of things when I start and say, okay, probably this is the place very close to the airport.
Are you from here?
Yes, I am from here.
So this is your backyard basically.
Yes, I was young when I read about Disney, and I continue to think that probably Disney was right to think that it's possible to do a park. When I start to think to do something here, I start to think about a park of innovation, like a Sofia Antipolis, like Silicon Valley, like this kind of park. The river is Sile, the name is Sile, and usually here we used to say Valle nel Sile or Sile con Valle. So it's funny to think that is a sort of Silicon Valley in close to Venice.
Well, you were mentioning, you said it started out as seeding. So you were working with startups, Italian startups, like an incubator, I guess you could call it?
But at the beginning, it's not a focus on Italian startups, only Italian startups. For sure, we take care about Italian startups because we want to help our ecosystem to grow up. But when we started in 2005, it was one of the first venture incubator in the world because we was literally at the beginning. Y Combinator started in the same year. Techstars started in 2007. Another big incubator started in 2010. So 2005 was very early.
So you guys were pioneers.
Yes, stupid pioneers, because if you start from Silicon Valley, the real one is complicated, but you are in the right place. Here you are in Europe, and Europe is not so conscious about the opportunity of the innovation of technology of startup. So, and Italy in particular is not one of the first in Europe.
I mean, I would say I've been in Italy for quite some time. Been coming back here back and forth all my life. My family is from Rome, and I will say that in 2005, eravamo indietro.
Molto indietro.
And also in mentality,
Yes.
like this one of the things that that keeps popping up is the word entrepreneur here. And that in 2005 nobody was really thinking of. In Italy it was, entrepreneur was not part of the mentality. Or at least let's say in Rome.
It was very difficult. We invest a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort to show off how much opportunity there is in this sector. And honestly, when I was doing that, was difficult to think that was so complicated. I don't believe at the beginning that Italy and Europe was so unconscious about the opportunity. In 2012, I was involved by the Minister of Economic Development in Italy to help to write the rules of the about startups, about technology. I work for 1 year in this task force, and I understood in that period that probably I must invest in education to have more impact, because startup is good. At the end, today we are happy because we invested 28. Now we have a cashback for 34, and probably at the end we will close at 40. But very long way, and not so long in absolute thinking. If you are someone that works in this sector, is not so much time, but for people that is unconscious or not believe to this sector, 10 years, 15 years is a lot of time to wait to have a result. So we decided to invest on education to educate a lot of students, but mostly the parents of the students, because the real problem are the people, my generation, or people that is born in 80s or 90s, because okay, there are millennials, but probably people 1780s, born in 1780s, they didn't understand clearly how much opportunity there is in innovation. And the big risk that we have now is that they push their son to do something that is difficult, that will have success in the next years, because a job that probably disappear in the next year. So it's very important that they understand clearly that is time to come back to school, also for them to understand clearly that the business is changed, and that there are a lot of new jobs that are coming in the market.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the education aspect, because I know in 2015, H-Farm invested and acquired an international school from K to 12, what we would say K to 12, and it was in Treviso, relocated 15 kilometers here, and then you acquired that huge 30 acres, or maybe 50 hectares, which is a lot more than acres of land. Or I never do the math right, but I think 50 hectares is 100 acres, or vice versa, and you built a campus. You brought in Mariano Zanon, who's an architect, and it wasn't just building a campus, it was taking into consideration sustainability, the terrain. I mean, it was a massive project, being as least invasive as possible in order to bring a new kind of school in mentality, and a new kind of school in architecture to this area.
Yes. We take the business of education seriously, because I believe that education, like other sector, will be disrupted in the next years. One, because there is a new customers that pretend want to be listen and educated in a new way, because they interact more fast with things. They have a new frequency. Second, because education is something that is very important for everyone. It's impossible to stop education in the next years, because we will have a lot of change in everything in the next years through technology. Software will hit every process in our life, because will become pervasive in everything. So education for me is something that is important to educate students and parents, but also is something where we invest, because we think that we can create a new model in terms of education, but also new technology for education. And our new startup or startup dream is to build a new kind of school, multi-channel. The project, the name is My School, is a personalized school, because today when you have an internet experience in everything that you do, you have something that is profiled for you. on education, you don't have something profilized.
Profiled for you.
Profiled.
Yeah. And like curated for you is what you're saying.
And curated for you. You have something that is average, usually. What we want to do is something that is augmented with virtual reality, augmented reality, and profiled for you.
Now, from when I went through the campus today, and it's to give everybody an idea, countryside, 2-level buildings, nothing higher because they're not going to destroy the natural landscape, and different.
There is only one building that is 2-level. This
So
is the
most
library.
of them are 1 level, correct?
Yes, it is 1 level because must be accessible to everyone. The culture. Only the library stay 1 level.
But the library,
up.
I think it's it's a because what it is like a mound. It's
Yes.
pretty much hidden. And actually, you know what it reminded me of? I don't know if you've ever seen at Rice University in Houston, Texas. James Turrell did an art installation called Sky Space, and it's this mound. So it's like a hidden. That's what it reminded me of, but a little bit bigger because it's a library and it's got a space for lectures and it's got.
Yes. That building is designed by Richard Rogers. It's the only building that designed Richard Rogers, and we are very proud of it because Richard came here in 2015 or 14 because he's seen the project in Biennale Architettura that was awarded when we present. And he asked us, and we say immediately yes, if he can help us to design the library. And we love him immediately, and we was super proud that he can do something with us.
Well, I loved it from the outside. I just loved that mound, and then I loved it inside. I mean, I think it's a really beautiful library. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, I want to let everybody know from going through the buildings today and talking with everyone, I was told that the elementary school, there is a huge research with Montessori.
Yeah.
The high school is an IB program.
Yeah.
Then there's also university programs with Ca' Foscari, which is a very important school in Venice, and master's classes. And there is and the emphasis is on entrepreneurship, innovation, entrepreneurship. That's a tough one for me to say today. Innovation. So are these students learning more tech stuff? Is that what's going on? Or, is the elementary and high school?
No, it's for us it's something that is different because it's clear that the last 4 years, the last 2 or 4 of high school and the college is something that have the opportunity to live the full potential of H-Farm experience because I believe that business, we have H-Farm is also a consultancy company. We have 600 employees, 200 are teachers, 300 are consultant, and a main part of the business of H-Farm is work for service on digital that we do for Gucci, for Adidas, for Henkel, for a lot of big companies. And this part of business is very close to university or high school, and it's super beautiful for students look during the day, during the year, this company that come inside H-Farm, someone sometime take a speech for them, but
like Philippe Stark, for
like
example,
Philippe Stark today, but they live together and they take a snack in Amor, and they have the opportunity in the very close table that there is a meeting of Gucci, and this is something that they love because they listen. The Gucci team also is happy because listen what they are doing the students, and they understand that there is something that is changing. So it's beautiful.
Well, they get first-hand or first-person experience, and that must be very inspiring for them.
Yeah.
And, because it's not something that happens every day.
Yes, every day there is something, because today is Philip Starks, but last week there was here the chief of design of Audi that speak with students.
Very cool.
The day after there was here Simon Beckerman, that was the founder of Depop.
Which I just want to give a shout out to, because we have a 19-year-old at home who has a little business thanks to Depop. And Depop for her is like the pinnacle of cool. And it's considered the first Italian unicorn. I think it was bought by Etsy, and it was.
Yeah.
But it came from H-Farm.
Yes. They started in 2011 here. Simon came here and asked me to see this model that he invent. Simon is a fantastic guy, super smart, super cool. And when he told me the story, the idea, I say, okay, it's super ambitious. It's sort of buy button on Instagram is not so easy that we can do, and people adopt everywhere. But when it was not the business plan, the force of Simon, it was Simon himself, because you understand immediately that probably he can do, because he know very well at who he want to address this kind of idea. He have a very clear a community, how to build a community, and how this community can see these kind of things. And we decided to invest. He stayed here for 1 year, and the people that develop for more year. Then they moved to London, and today in June they sold it to Etsy for 1,600,000,025. So it was an incredible success.
And these are the kind of inspirations that your students get to see firsthand. Now, I saw that there are the dormitories. It was great because when I was walking around, students were speaking all different languages, but it is an English language school, and it's an international school. So students can come here, and they could even board if they wanted to, correct?
Yes, now we have students from Chile, from New Zealand, from Australia, from Azerbaijan, Canada, US. So it's beautiful. And for me, it's something that I don't expect so fast, because until last year we have pandemia, COVID, so it's not so. It happened very fast.
Well, I mean, there was the pandemic, the pandemic, and then you guys also were building the campus, and it opened last fall in 2020. So that was
No, it was an incredible run, because we started to build the campus in October 2019, and they finished because they work all night in 10 months. Wow. So very, very fast. I stay here with them every day, every evening, to help in everything. And in September we opened the campus, and we was very happy, because we was conscious that was something incredible, because it was a particular time.
Well, I think also what you've done is you've brought together some really, really incredible creators. I was speaking with Mariano Zanon is the architect, and he was telling me how the materials used are essentially recycled materials. I was then, to mention Philippe Starck, that was not just a casual mention. Philippe Starck is an architect who lives in Burano. He's a French architect who lives just outside of Venice, and has a long-term friendship with the Alaimo brothers, who are famous restaurateurs from Padova, which is nearby, who have cross-pollinated with you to create this incredible community that participates in the community that you've created with H Farm, because they've taken over, or they've created the bistro, which is Amor.
Yeah.
Which is I thought it was really clever, because you've made it easy for, like, you've made it's nothing, it's not fancy, it's exactly what someone who's 17 would want to go to, but the focus is health.
Yeah. No, I believe that if you are lucky that you can ask to some excellence to come here to work with you and they say yes, you are lucky.
This area seems to have a lot of excellence.
Yes, I believe that excellence call excellence. So if you start to do something that is beautiful, I believe that if you create something beautiful, at the end of the day, something beautiful happen. I believe that the students that have the opportunity to study here learn a lot of things only to stay here. Then it's very important that our teacher, our approach is correct, that we push them to be ambitious, honest, right, and a lot of things. But if they stay in a place that is try to do the best in everything, they understand something that is very important.
Now, I have a question about H Farm. Do you think you've created this Silicon Valley here? Have we seen the H Farm effect? Are we going to start seeing more versions of H Farm in Italy, or more startups coming, more incubators coming in this area?
I hope. I hope that this project could be could generate a lot of things. For sure, now we have some alumni that leave the campus and can do something great, and we hope that they will do that. But also the people that work here or work here in the past, when leave H Farm, start to do something, and we say here that once upon a time you are a farmer, you remain a farmer, and I believe that is correct. You bring something from here. Today with the PNRR and the recovery plan that we have in Italy and in other countries, there is a huge opportunity to do something like this, and these kind of things cost a lot of money, but is not so big amount of money. If in this recovery plan our country think to do 5 or 6 of these kind of things in some region, could be a beautiful things, because I believe that there is a lot of the next economy, the actual economy will be only on the knowledge, on the an economy that is based on the talent, and we must attract talent. Every city, every region must attract talent and retain the talent in the territory.
One of the things that I hear a lot are le eccellenze italiane, Italian excellence, and it is true. Italians for centuries have been incredible artisans, and I think what really piqued my interest with H Farm when I first started following it several years ago, or maybe a few years ago, 5 years ago, when I started hearing about this H Farm, was that it is a different kind. It's not the expected kind of Italian excellences, but with that exact same mentality. And I think that's the thing that I love about what you're doing is you are promoting the 21st century of Italian excellence, whether it's with the startups, with education, and I really love it.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today, and I can't wait to see more students. I can't wait to see what they do.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry for my English, that is not so good.
It was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Ciao Bella. If you'd like to know more about today's guest, please visit ciaobella.co and click on the podcast link, or go directly to ciaobella.co/podcast. Want more Italy? You can find all my episodes on iTunes and Spotify and Stitcher. When you have time, subscribe to iTunes and rate the podcast. What are you waiting for? And if you want to be part of the podcast, email me or DM me your Italy questions. To learn more about me and my work, go to my website, ericafirpo.com, and follow my Italy adventures on Instagram at ericafirpo. Ciao, Bella! And a very big thank you and hug to Massimiliano Yonta and Disc to Disc Studios, the producers of Ciao Bella, who continue to make me sound and feel great.